What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Summer Classic 2020 semifinals between myself and Ragnar. We're now in Game 3. Score is all evened up at 1-1, so best of 5, so winning here would be nice for either side. Take a 2-1 lead and have 2 shots at closing out the series, so Ragnar does get to pick first in this one, so a nice edge for him perhaps, but we'll see. So he went with Galatia first. A few options, obviously, on the board for any counter picks. Rome is one, Armurni, another classic one. But I went for Numidia. Totally valid pick, in my opinion. I think that matchup is pretty fair. I've won the matchup a few times, the last couple times I've played it against not only Ragnar, but other players as well, so felt pretty good about it. Let's get into it and see how it goes, though. Alright, so let's go, I guess, just look at the army. So I'm Numidia, obviously, and I've got pretty much the most standard Numidia army that I take. I pretty much take it every time I can. I've got 2 armor Numidian Cav here on each flank. They are the killers for Numidia, absolute beasts, so taking 4 of them, no big surprise. They can really wreak havoc on any Cav, infantry, anything pretty much, so they're a very strong pick. We've got up front just 4 Desert Vigiles. These guys are nice because they can go into square, and in square they will last a very, very long time, even against elite infantry like the Galatian Legionaries. Obviously they're not going to kill anything, but they're going to hold, and they're going to allow you to do other stuff around the map, so decent up front, and obviously they can absorb cav charges. Not that he'll be cav charging very much into this infantry line with any good defense. So my infantry line is normal 4 Desert Legionnaires, 2 Numidian Light Infantry. These guys are actually pretty good, and comparing the stats to the Galatian Swords, they're slightly worse than the Galatian Swords. They do not have the same weapon damage, 35 versus 40, and their melee defense is slightly higher, but only 5 difference. These Numidian Light Infantry are better than Celtic Warriors, but the Galatian Swords are just slightly better than them. So they're quite a good, cheap infantry unit. Very nice for that. I mean, obviously I have 4 Peltists, and this is a technique that I use a lot. I think these Peltists can be really, really devastating, especially when units get tied down on your squares, or even just from the flank. If you can get to the flank of a fight and just shoot units in the flank or the rear, they will die instantly. These guys are absolute beasts. And the other thing about them that's so good is that they are excellent in melee as well. Really good melee stats, good armor, and you know, they obviously have a lot of 41 missile damage javelins, so they can do a lot of damage with that. Also have 2 armored desert cav in the back here, just to protect anything that gets through. They're not a huge threat to anything, but they can help force the engagement by, you know, charging a charging a Galatian Legionnaire or something, and then just defending the rear. And helping my Peltists get shots. For example, they can tie down a Cappadocian cav, the Peltists can shoot it, and then kill it off like that. So that's my army, pretty standard stuff, very normal army. Ragnar has brought, I would say, a pretty decent and normal Galatian army as well. He's got 2 levy free up front here, just normal meat shield stuff. They can tie down my Vigiles, they can javelin my Jav Cav in the later parts of the game, so very normal stuff. He has 4 Galatian Legionnaires and 2 Galatian Swords. I mean, anyone that plays against Galatia should expect that exact format, since those are the only melee infantry you can really bring. 3 Syrian Archers, pretty standard stuff. 2 Cappadocians and a Noble Horse, also standard, and 3 Galatian Spears back here. Very useful against Numidia for just warding off these Jav Cav, and with cavalry counter tactics, they can really do a lot of damage. They'll also kill my Spears in melee. They can chase after Peltists, although the Peltists might beat them in melee. It would never be a cost-effective trade, especially if they take a Javelin Volley. So they're very useful in this matchup, and he had extra money, so he doesn't have to go just levy free. He can bring 3 Galatian Spears. He also, of course, has 3 Horse Skirmishers back here, just to defend the rear here and pester these Numidian Cav and just force them to use their ammo, or even better is to get shots of your own with the Horse Skirmishers on the Numidian Cav and kill some of them and lower their HP. So that's pretty normal stuff here. He's just chasing me around a little bit. I'm not giving too much attention to it. You can't really catch my guys, and you can't get too close without getting meleeed. So, you know, we're just skirmishing here. I'm not trying to waste too much ammo on these units, because that will not really be a good use of my ammo. Of course, best practice I find is to, you know, skirmish a little bit with these guys. Surround, as you can see, I have units behind and on the flanks here. So you surround completely, and then once the mainline engagement starts, it's hard to micro these guys. They don't really have anywhere to go except for inside their own lines. So once the mainline engagement starts and he starts using his cav, you just hunt these guys down. Your cav charge them, and if he mismicros them, they're just instantly dead. If he micros them, you can only survive so long, and he only has one direction to go inside his army, so they can't really become very useful. Similar to my problem I had with my Tarentines in the first game, where you're surrounded and your cav is under threat, so if you retreat into your own cav, they could get javelined. Of course, the one thing is that these guys don't have the range of the bow horse, but it's a very similar problem where they can't really go anywhere, and eventually they're just going to get shot or meleeed to death very efficiently. So that's why I'm not trying to skirmish with them now. There's no point in wasting ammo in that method. I'm trying to rest these guys as well. You need them fresh for the entire game until they can make some key action. So good to hold that. So now I'm moving in, rushing forward here. My plan, you can see these Desert Vigiles here. I'm going to tie down this Levy Free, and then this unit can prevent any charges or square up against this Galatian Legionary and allow the Peltas to shoot it. But it will leave my center a bit exposed. But obviously I'm trying to flank around with my Peltas and stuff, so that's why I'm doing this action. Ragnar just pulling back, trying to disorient my formation. You can see it's kind of working. I have to reissue move orders. These Vegeta's are going to get on these Levy Freemen, though. Get a charge as well, so that's going to be nice. He does get a few javelins, which obviously you can't really avoid. But we're getting in here, and the Levy Freemen will do well, but you can go into square, and it'll be a draw, basically. Here you can see Desert Vegeta is getting in here in square. He uses javelin volley in his charge, so that'll allow this Desert Legionary to get a better engagement. Over here, same thing. You can see instantly going into square. Here is Galatian Sword charges in here, but I'm going to get a counter charge by Numidian Light Infantry. They do take some javelin fire though, so not excellent, but the Peltas are going to kill a lot of these Galatian Legionaries pretty much instantly. Desert Legionary getting a charge. However, here's the big mistake that I make, is basically these Desert Legionnaires are completely exposed. My Peltas are a bit too far away to actually help, and there's no Desert Vigiles here, so he's going to get a counter charge, a primary charge with his Cappadocians, and a secondary charge with his Galatian Legionnaires into these Desert Legionnaires. Going to completely destroy them, basically. They do lose quite a few men for it, especially here where the Peltas are a bit more in range, but it's still not a very good trade, because he can be busted through the center, then all of a sudden my flanks are exposed. I literally have no units in the center of my army right now, because my cav are out here on the flanks. And meanwhile, these Galatian Spears are doing a really, really good job of just protecting me from getting any rear charges, which is basically what I plan to do whenever possible. So that's not a good start for me, definitely. His Syrian archers are well protected at the moment, so they can still continue to fire. I'm going to be doing well in these fights, though. You can see these flanking Galatian Legionnaires are losing pretty badly because, again, they didn't get a charge, and my Peltas can shoot them a little bit, so that's nice. Over here, this unit is already in the yellow morale, down to 86 men against 112, so winning these fights. But I need to continue to press the issue here with my Numidian skirmishers. They need to get around the flank, and they need to start pressuring these Syrian archers, because right now they're just killing anything near them. These Galatian swords got a counter charge, so they're doing very well. Whereas over here, my Numidian light infantry got a charge, so this fight is quite close. These Desert Legionnaires had an attack order on this unit, so they're just going to get pounded by the Galatian Legionnaires in their flank, so this unit is just going to die. My Peltas are coming here to shoot this Galatian Legionnaire in the flank, and you can see it's doing good damage, but it's still doing very well against this unit because it got charged, so that's very nice. These Galatian Legionnaires, again, going to die, but again, he still has his Galatian Spears here protecting. I do kill off these Mercenary Horse Skirmishers very easily, like I said. Here I'm lining up a rear charge on this unit to try to kill it off, because I'm still okay to lose the center and win on the flanks. That's totally fine for me. But the problem is now his Cappadocians are breaking through, and again, I don't really have any units here. My Cav is very isolated, there's no help for them. So now the Cappadocians just bust through. Again, look how well the Peltas are doing against these Galatian Legionnaires, killing so many of them, but now the Cappadocians are behind my army, and that's definitely bad. You can flank around here. Here I'm going to kill off a Galatian Spear with a combination of these skirmishers and the Cav, which is nice, but again, now his Syrians can just freely fire anything. Cappadocians getting around the flank into my Peltas, which is very unfortunate. They were kind of tied down in melee somehow. They kind of got touched here. Getting a rear charge on these light infantry, they will rout. And now my Peltas are under threat. He has Galatian Legionnaires behind, and these Galatian Legionnaires over here are not going to be getting shot by my Peltas, because my Peltas are running away, and my Peltas are on the flank here, so that's not good. Galatian Legionnaire also holding on to 19 men, even though it was getting shot and surrounded. Very nice, stopping me from being able to pressure through. My cavalry, though, is very healthy, and that's always good as NVIDIA. You want your Jav Cav to be alive and doing well for the late game. I do need to collapse on these archers though, so I'm sending in this cav here just to tie down one Cappadocian. I bait it out, try to get it to charge away from the archers here, which it's definitely doing. I don't really have anything to kill it with, however, so that's not going to do very well. These Peltas are engaging the Cappadocians, trying to get them out of my hair, but Ragnar also realizes the threat here, pulls his Cappadocian back. My Peltas are coming in to shoot at his general, though, and I'm getting a nice charge on his archers. A few nice javelin volleys on the noble horse there, but there's only so much it can do when the noble horse is full health. So, again, we're winning on this flank, but we've lost the center pretty badly, and now he's going to chase down these Peltas, who I really, really need in the late game. You can see his Galatian Legionnaires aren't very healthy, 58, 55, and one of them is dead, and one of them is pretty healthy over here. And my Peltas and Cav are pretty healthy, but again, there's only so much I can do here with so many spears and the archers left alive. Killing the archers is always of paramount importance, pretty much. Just charging into these spears, trying to kill them off if I can, but not really doing too well here. I need to finish off this battle here. His Cappadocians are dying, which is nice, but now his archers are shooting at my gen. It's not terribly bad to do that at this stage of the battle for him, because my general is a unit that if it routs, my army will just rout entirely. Cappadocian's pretty much dead, so I killed one Cappadocian, but the other Cappadocian is still here, 30 men, and the noble horse here was 50 men, so not looking very good. I only have one Numidian Legionnaire, or Desert Legionnaire, alive here. My Peltas, two of them are alive, but again, two got chased down and died pretty much for free, so allowing him to bust through the center was pretty much the losing move, and just not capitalizing on the flanks, because he had his spears on the flanks, and they were holding me and preventing me from flanking, so I just didn't have any units to do it with, so this is not looking good. My Cav is still very healthy, though. Gonna try to get around the flank. I can still Peltas his Galatian Legionnaires, which is nice. But there's only so much ammo that I have left. Going for a charge here with my Cav, or one of them at least. He does realize it, but his guys are tired, so they're not going to do very well in these fights. Trying to get a second charge into these Galatian Legionnaires, which is decent, again. But again, I can't really get to the archers. His Cav is healthy, and of course they're going to win against my Cav in melee, so not really much I can do. His spears are still healthy, and my Peltas just aren't enough to win the battle by themselves at this point, basically, with the Cav, when his Cav is so healthy. So, he's holding the line nicely. Losing in the center was bad. I think I just tried to flank around too much with my Peltasts. If they're just sitting here at decent angles, doesn't have to be great angles, shooting the flank of the Galatian Legionnaires, all you need to do is kill the 4 Galatian Legionnaires, basically. And then you can just take your Peltas as melee units against the spears. But flanking around, didn't really get good shots, let his Cappadocians do too much damage, and then my Cav was alive alone. So, Ragnar will take the series, not the series, but this game, and go up in the series 2-1. He'll have 2 chances to finish it off, but I will pick first, at least in game 4. So we'll see. Looking at the kills here, again, nice kills on a lot of these Armored Numidian Cav, totally fine. Except for one, I guess, didn't do very well. Peltas, though, not doing enough, especially the 2 that got surrounded and killed. Armored Desert Cav didn't really expect much from them anyway, but you would expect hopefully more than 3 kills in 15. That's not really good. And the Desert Legionnaires, only one of them did well. One that was shooting at the, where the Peltas were shooting at the Galatian Legionnaire. The rest did very poorly, and that's because I let them out to dry a little too much. Numidian Light Infantry did fine, but you'd expect them to do a little bit better. If you look at the swords, Galatian sword kills here, much better for Rag. And then the Giles didn't do much, but didn't do badly, sitting in square. Absolutely fine there. For Galatia here, Cav did very nicely. These 2 at least, with a lot of men surviving. And that's all you need, really, is when the Armored Numidian Cav are out of ammo. If these guys are healthy, they're going to be completely fine. Horse Skirmishers didn't do much again. You can really easily counter them, but a few of them got kills, and any kills against the Armored Numidian Cav are very valuable. Archers did great, and again, I couldn't get to them, so they're going to be a big threat with a lot of ammo left. And his Galatian Legionnaires, of course, except for this one which got shot, did very well in the spears. Just surviving and deterring my Cav from going for rear charges on his Legionnaires and stuff is basically their whole job, and they did that very well. So, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one as we try to continue the series in Game 4. Peace out, and thanks for watching.